Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Same Old podcast. Today we're a little bit delayed, so we do apologise about this episode, which is okay. I feel bad, obviously, for not getting out an episode. It was supposed to be today, and we're filming it today and getting it out tomorrow. So you'll be hearing this on the 2nd of April. But firstly, happy April, and happy April Fool's Day.
Thank
Have you had
Right.
any? I always forget about April Fools. Have you had any like? I remember when I was a kid, like loads of people always used to make up like so many random things, and you could never believe in anything anyone said. But I mean, now you're an adult. I think like it's just like another day. But did you ever get that when you were a kid?
Damn, I actually did. And I can't believe I didn't realize it was April Fool. Like it used to be one of the days we were looking like the most forward to because we were like, doing those fishy things to like have the sticker. Like we would actually get ready for April's Fool or like, putting
Wait.
those.
What do you mean fishy thing?
Okay, so April's Fool's is like a fish, right? It's like the mascot for April Fool is a fish or no? Is
Is
it not
it?
a fish? It's actually a
Is it?
fish. And you know what? I think it comes from like Easter and the Easter because the for Christianity or like Catholic is like
Oh my god!
a fish.
Yeah. Wait.
Would that be related to this? I don't even know. But it's a fish.
Oh my god! It is.
Is
In
it a
France,
fish?
in France. Yeah, it is. Traditional April Fool's traditions in April Fools, and then there's like fish and stuff like that. Oh my god, I didn't know that.
Wait. You didn't have any like what would you do back home for April Fool?
I mean, we would just pull pranks on each other, or like jokes and stuff. Like, when we're like, I don't know, you'd say something that isn't true and then be like, April Fools. Like, that was what I
Right.
was talking
Okay,
about.
yeah. Okay,
Oh
so
my
that
god.
that definitely yes, but when we were kids, we would like have all of those like fish ready, and we would have to like stick in the back of the people, and sometimes like the fish would have a message like, "Oh, kick me, call me fat," or like kick me in the butt, or like, and people would have to
Yeah.
like, and you could snatch out the fish from somebody and put it on someone else. I can't really remember. It's a long
Oh
time
my
ago,
god, I
but
did not realize that was an actual game.
it was like a whole game like all day at school and it was so much fun. It like really cool. But yeah, I think it's the first time I actually didn't do it April Fool, like not even a joke. Like I remember pulling out some jokes once in a while, like, and as an adult is like, what do you say? You do, oh, I am pregnant, LOL, or like, what do you say? Like
Oh
I'm
my
going.
god, yeah, when you were younger in high school, you'd be like, yeah, like some random things, like, oh, I'm this, and you're like, April Fools, and you're like, it's such random information. That's what I was talking about in terms of April Fools. That's so funny. I didn't
Yeah,
actually realize that was a whole thing, but I mean, that's cool. Learn something new every day,
happy
I guess.
but I guess with age like there's none of that, but I hope that anyone who has April Fool tradition just are enjoying. But
Oh,
we
yeah.
did celebrate Easter yesterday with Aldo's mom,
Oh, I
and
saw on Instagram, like, that looks really, really fun that you had, like,
oh my
the dinner and stuff.
babe, listen, she made her like everything was homemade, and we got from back from Orlando, we had to do nothing, and she just fed us with like like mac and
Oh,
cheese, beautiful. She did it like dairy free too. I was like, oh my God, I love her so much. And she's like, she just
yum.
started her like more vegan diet. I was like, I'm so with it with you. But she did those like ribs, like, all homemade. Like there's just nothing like,
Yeah.
mom's food. She's so good. And
So
yeah, it was amazing. So homemade food is like chef's
good.
kiss.
Yeah.
And we ate and we relaxed. We passed out on the couch. What did you do for Easter, babe? Do you want to share with us what you did?
Well,
Well,
I went out on a night out with some of my girlfriends, Kay and Hannah, and oh, I mean, I haven't been out for, I mean, God knows how long. I don't know if it's a tradition. It's not a tradition in the UK. I don't know why I say it's a tradition, but it's very like, I say normal. A lot of people go out on like bank holiday Sunday or a Friday or the long weekends most of the time.
Right.
There's like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same for like in the US and stuff like that. I think it is, but like I know in the UK obviously when I was younger and stuff when I was like 18, 19, we'd always be really really looking forward to like bank holiday, Sunday or Monday. Not Monday, but like the Sunday because we'd go out and it's weird going out on a night on a Sunday. Yeah, we would always I not always do that, but we did that a few times. But yeah, we went out last night. That was really fun. I haven't been out on a night out for about, I want to say like, since like October, which isn't that long ago, but it feels like a while ago, obviously because of prep and stuff like that. And those types of social events I haven't done. And it's not even about going out and, I don't drink or anything like that, but it's about going out and spending time with the girls and spending time and just not having to worry about anything external, just having fun and being present. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. But and I actually don't feel too bad this morning. So yeah, it was a fun time. Very very different to yours, but I actually just came back from one of my other friends, Charlotte, and we just cooked a roast dinner. So that was really nice. We had like some homemade stuff. We made and we made it kind
Yeah.
of like a healthy roast dinner. Like we made, weirdly we made, okay, so we made roast dinner like a burger roast dinner. So it was like instead of, so I don't know why we decided to do that because have you heard of something called HelloFresh?
Hello Fresh.
Yeah, it's like a company that
Yeah.
sends you like
Yes.
it sends you all the like stuff already and you have to make it. So she had some of that left over and we had like one of the like recipes was like a roast like something called Winner Winner Chicken Dinner and it was like a roast dinner burger, which was so weird.
Yeah.
Hi Aldo.
Oh my God,
Hi.
it's fun.
I can't hear.
No, she can't. He can.
Hi, Phoebe. Ooh, hi, Phoebe.
Hi. You're on the podcast.
Oh, hello. How's everybody doing?
How's everyone doing?
How's
I was
everybody's
just
prep?
I was just telling everyone about my dinner that I had just about an hour ago. It was lovely. It was a roast dinner. We were just talking about our dinners that
What?
we've had over Easter.
What? What'd you have?
I had roast dinner burger.
Ooh, a burger.
So we made like we made a burger and then what you have like roast dinner, you have like gravy and potatoes and all that sort of thing. We had that in the burger. It was really good.
Like injected inside the burger?
No, so we had like the burger and then the gravy and then we had the potatoes on the side, but we had it like all in the burger. It was so good.
Babe. Yo.
I can hear anything.
Wow. All right. Have fun talking.
Bye.
And come move to Miami for a little bit. Okay, thanks.
Okay, I will.
Yeah. Oh, she said she will.
I will.
Okay. Little intermission.
Yeah, a little intermission. Everyone say hi to Aldo. But yeah, that's what we had. We had that for dinner. And it was
That
roast and it
sounds.
was so yum. But it was nice to like
Yeah,
make
so
it
yummy.
and like I don't know, it was just fun. And we watched
Being part of the process is so cool too. Like of your food
yeah.
and like sometimes it disgusts me. Like when you're doing like I don't know. Like I can explain it. Like sometimes like I couldn't make like an actual recipe the way it is because like you would have to like throw like the entire thing of butter and it just makes my heart sick.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but knowing that it's homemade and you can make those like little tweaks that not too much, but like a little bit. Actually, homemade stuff is always going to be better than processed anyway. So that
Yeah.
put me at peace. But I love homemade stuff when I'm not the one cooking. But then when I'm cooking for people, I love it, but I don't like to eat my own food. It's like a weird thing. But
Really?
yeah, are you doing like that?
No, I didn't. I get satisfaction from like making a meal and be like sitting down and being like, I'm gonna enjoy this because I made it. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Preach.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
I need
it.
to grow up. I need to
It's like
grow up.
I need to grow up. That's funny. I mean, yeah. I mean, so that was the weekend. Well, yesterday technically. How was your actual weekend? So obviously you went to Clash on the Saturday. How was that? I'm excited to
So
hear
we
all
drove.
about that.
Yeah, I know you would, because it's like it's so your thing to do. So no, we drove to Orlando on Friday. We got here, like, weren't even able to change. Like, we picked up Kim because Kim was going to be there. So obviously, anywhere like he comes, we know, trying to like spend time with him and seeing him. I haven't seen him since the Arnold. So pick him up. We went to like the studio I rented. We did like a little roundtable podcast, which is going to
Oh, that's
be
fun.
posted. It was really fun because we spoke about obviously some of the things I didn't know about Kim, and like some of the things I didn't even know about Aldo. It was like so
That's so cool.
cool. And yeah, because it was very different generations. And obviously Aldo is such a leader into like the training. Kim is a leader into like coaching and nutrition, and I'm my own leader into like my own, career, whatever. But people don't know, like, I've known of Kim since I started my career, and Aldo, like, around 2019, I started following him. So I was like, wait, I want to highlight both of you. So like I was kind of the host in between all that. So it was
That's
like
fun.
a really cool thing to, be into. And then he
Yeah.
had 17 girls at that show, so he was busy. So yeah,
17.
17. So then we drove back, and at 4 p.m., Joe made this like dress rehearsal. So do you remember in the podcast I told you about, how come we don't have like a day that we can actually step on stage and like be like Beyonce and Rihanna before a concert and just like practice our routine? So we
Yeah.
actually opened up the stage, like legit opened up the stage, put some music on, and like two other pros were there to like help out with the girls, and the girls were like pros, amateur. They were all there to mingle and
That's
just,
so good.
yeah, Phoebes. Like, people were like actually able to just hang out. Sandy was there. Like, it was so amazing to just like let them. And some of them were really nervous, but I was like, okay, no, like, let me show you. Like, actually step on stage, feel the lighting, like, see how it feels to step on stage. So the girls
I
could bring their
love
shoes
that.
and pose. It was so great, and so like very innovative, very innovative. So I really enjoyed that, and then stayed until 8 p.m. So I stayed until 7 p.m. like for the athletes pro meeting. Sorry, athletes pro meeting. Stayed there, like Sandy spoke for like 15 minutes, but very straight to the point, very straightforward. And then that was for the Friday. Then show day was on Saturday, and I was on duty from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. And then we went for dinner with some with Paul, with some friends, and we enjoy good BJ's burgers,
Ooh.
BJ's burger with some avocado. So it was cool. And then we actually stayed overnight because I was like, I can't, we can't drive. Let's just enjoy the night. So we stayed an extra night
That's good
there,
though.
and just that way we can, hand the trophies, saw the winners. Like, it was an incredible show. Like, the caliber of these girls, like, so early on this season, because
Yeah.
normally that means that these girls have prepped throughout like the holidays, and that for me is
Yeah.
like big hats off, because I'm like, it takes balls. I mean, we have balls to do it, but we've done it for a long time. So it's like, we
Yeah.
haven't seen the holidays in a while. But for that, I'm like, hats off to them. So big congratulations to all the girls that were there. I mean, the girl that won the overall and some of the, second place could be a pro right now. So
Yeah.
it's
There was
it's
a
incredible.
there was a photo of you, and it's the cutest photo. I think you put it on your story where it's like, I think you're giving her trophy, but she's like so excited, and she's like hugging you on stage, and it looks so cute. Like, it's those types of moments that make just one their journey so much more special. Like, you giving out the trophy in such a amazing moment of their career, of like their bodybuilding career.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that they remember for a long time as well. So it's cool that you're able to do that. And like, that sounds incredible, the rehearsal thing with the like everything in terms of
Right?
like, I like that idea, being able
And
to have
and
that as like a before, just to feel like comfortable. Because imagine, like, I always think this as well, like, we could practice as many times. I mean, we always say this anyway, you could practice as many times as you need to, posing, all that type of thing. Nothing amounts to the same as actual show day. Like, the audience, the lights, the just the vibe in general is always so different. So it's like
yeah.
nice to have that like night before to like at least mimic it.
Yeah, no, it was such a great idea, and I really hope it's a thing that I know sometimes it's difficult for promoters to be
Yeah.
able to do that, because they need to like put the stage like a whole day beforehand, and sometimes they do it the same night, or like they don't have access to the room or something. So I really hope it's something that they can afford to do in the future, because I really do think it helps the whole experience. So I'm glad the
I
girls were
agree.
able to do that. And then yeah, I mean that moment was so special, because that same girl came after prejudging, and she came to say hello and introduce herself, and I was like, "You're so sweet." And I have her crown like in my head. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to like put it on her. It was such a great moment, and all the lineup of overall ladies, they all look so amazing.
Yeah.
But very special moment that she's gonna remember, but I'm gonna remember too. Like I'm gonna carry that in my heart, and it's so crazy because in the past, like I don't know if you get that sometimes when you post some girls, you're like, wait, that's actually just what I just want to do this. Like I just actually want to
Yeah.
like pose girls and do that. But for me, it was interesting because after when I left, I was like, I'm actually more inspired to like prep now, like to really do my own thing and like being
Yeah.
more of a competitor now. And in the past, I would sometimes think like maybe I'm ready to just like be, helpful and a coach or like train or whatever, or just do
Yeah.
my posing. But because you enjoy it so much, but it's such a two-way street. And I'm like, actually, you girls are inspiring me so much right now. Like to be able to watch the entire show from beginning to end and how they carry themselves, and like it inspired me a lot. So yeah, I just want to be in prep, but not right now. But like I can't wait to be in prep and start prep
You're
to
like, I
like
can't wait to be prep. And I'm like, are you about to tell me you're going back on prep?
no, hell no, hell no.
I was like, are you going back on prep? Are you telling me something that you haven't told me yet?
No,
You're like,
babe,
no,
hell no.
no, but not. Yeah, you're like, not yet. Anyway, but no, I get what you mean in terms of like when you've been doing it for a while and you have to be disciplined and you're your own motivation for a very, very long time. When you see others do what you're doing, it's like that little bit of like almost like, oh, what, not eye opener, but kind of in a way you're like, oh, I see it from a different perspective in a slight way when others do it, because we're so accustomed to it where we're just like, oh, prep is prep, and sometimes it can be like, oh, it's the same thing, same thing, same thing, and sometimes motivation or like this the aspiration to want to do it can just dip, not meaning to, because it's like we love it anyway, but it just dips. And then when you see others do it and thrive in it and like love it so much, you're like, oh my god, like this isn't like reignited a fire. So no, I get that. To be fair, I get more though. I do get more of a like. Some days I'm like, like I'm happy with competing, and I'm not retired at all, or like I'm taking a break at the moment. I'm not retired, but I could see myself, doing another year, doing 2 years, and then maybe rethinking it and being like, shall I hang up the heels and be a mentor
Just
now?
that, yeah, just
Yeah.
that, yeah,
And the thing is, you
yeah,
can never say, it's weird because you can never say like, okay, yeah, like I'm done. Like I don't know when that point is actually gonna come. Do you know what I mean? Like it hasn't come because I'm not like
yeah.
I'm
You don't put
finished
a timeline.
competing. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's no timeline for it to be like, okay, yeah, I'm done. You kind of just know when it's time. Like it'll be interesting to see when that time comes for both of us though. Do you know what I mean? Like where will we be? Well, where will we be in our lives with being like, oh, this is our time to be done. You know?
right. Which is, I mean, let's just carry on with
Yeah,
today's topic, because I
literally.
that was a good freaking opener. See, like it always happened the way that we don't know how to, but it always end up happening. So
I know.
yeah, I mean, the way we can see ourselves in a couple of years, and I think you're right. Like when you're gonna stop, and for you, it's kind of like, I mean, is blurry the right term right now, or is it? Do you have an idea?
I mean, it's weird because like I've always been that type of person, especially so the topic obviously like you said, the topic today is to kind of talk about where do we see ourselves in 5, maybe 10 years, which is one really weird to think about as a whole anyway. I always feel because I think the perspective of what we thought our lives would look like now 10 years ago, so like when I was 18 for example, did not think that I would be this at all. So it's so weird to think like, okay, I'm 28, what am I going to be when I'm 38? I actually have no clue. So it's weird because the work, like, I started bodybuilding at 21, like 20, but when I was 18, I wanted to be a chef. So it's like those 2 years, like changed a lot. Do you know what I mean? 2 years. I was in
Yeah.
college for 3 years to, get to where I want to be in terms of being a chef and all that type of thing. And then 2 years out of my life, I then switched my entire career around. Do you know what I mean? So it's so weird to be like, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? There's goals that I have that I want to achieve in 5 to 10 years of like what I want to do, like a bucket list thing, and also things that I would love to tick off my list and say I've done, like career wise, business wise, everything. But it's so weird to say, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I have no clue. Same with Dubai. I never, ever, ever, ever in my million years, I say this all the time, 2019, I said, like, I went to Dubai at the end of the year and I was like, don't like this place. A year later, I moved there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I do
crazy.
think, I do think there's definitely like decisions that you make in your life that are a pillar, right? Where like there's other things that are going to stick onto. So basically, you initially committed to being a chef, which was not like the core commitment that
No.
attract, because you were able to just turn the flip around and be like, wait, I want to be a bodybuilder actually. So
Yeah.
that kind of went off the window. But let's say you were really committed, like down to your core to being a chef, like you would never come across bodybuilding because being a chef is like the complete
The only thing. Yeah.
like you can't really even like make like these two work together like at
No.
all or like balance it out. So that took over that decision, right? And then obviously now your career is within the bodybuilding realm, and then the Dubai decision has been helpful because of bodybuilding. So all of those decisions, like you have one pillar decision, which is bodybuilding, and bless at the same time it is your passion, what you're a big love and a big fat part of your life. So, um, with that being said, like there's obviously that decision that I took of being a bodybuilder is almost 10 years ago now. And even more so when I obviously quit my job and I quit school and I actually made a decision. Okay, that was it for me. I had the university that would take me 70 hours of work a week, or to prep for the Arnold in 2019. I had to make the decision because I knew I couldn't do both. And for where I was at the time, that window of opportunity was this big, and I had to take it because I was second at the Olympia already. I had a sponsorship, and I was really able to like make a career for myself. So I was like, we go there with a safe
Yeah.
path, or we go there. Like I really had an ultimatum. And the ultimatum was giving it to me because I gave it to myself. I pursue my school as much as I could, and I pursue my bodybuilding as much as I could. Where like life was like, Lauralie, you need to say go this way or that way, otherwise we cut it right down the middle, and you're not gonna be great at either one of them.
Yeah.
So like, make a decision. So then I decided, 2019, to be a full time bodybuilder. And then I started going to the gym. I was in the gym 5 hours a day, sauna every day, cardio, and then I would eat there and I would train and then I would do my cardio again. And I did that. And then I had the worst, placing of my life, being like a complete nut job. But I've done that. I've been 100% into that realm. So with that being said, since that decision, obviously, that has been my life, and obviously like the core of most of my choices, which has made a lot of tough decision or challenges in my life, and the sacrifices related to that, the traveling, not seeing my family, changing my sports, my hobbies. Like I'm not skiing anymore because of bodybuilding, all these things. Um, but because I made that choice to make
Yeah.
it the center of my life for a little bit, for a while. And with that being said, I'm going to let you kind of like roll back on this because I want to see what you're going to say. But initially, when I first started, I was young. First of all, I was, 18 years old. 17 years old. I had no idea who I was as a human being.
Yeah.
And I grew up within the sport, like making my decision as a bodybuilder fully and plenty. I want to say that the last 2 years and a half, almost three, I'm learning that I am more than just a bodybuilder, and there's also things that I want to do, and that helped me have a plan for the next 2 years of my life, the next 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, which is a vision, but also a plan and also decision that I'm making now makes sense for what I want to be in 5 years from now or 2 years from now. Which in the past, I was navigating life like really with the flow and like with opportunities that were giving to me throughout bodybuilding. And that was the core of my being. But but yeah, like now, I mean, 3 years ago, I was like, I'm going to compete until I win, or I want to compete until I put no timeline on my dream. And I don't recommend you to do that. I think if you're going into bodybuilding, I think you should have a vision for yourself and have dreams and goals that you really carry in your heart, and don't put a timeline on it to like rush it in any ways. So that way you can really be present. But now that I have, almost a decade under my belt, and I'm going to be 29, 30, well, I know for a fact I don't have 10 years ahead of me. Whether or not I want to win, and I do want to win, and that's the fact. But now I understand that I'm a woman, I'm Lauralie Chapados, and I'm 28 years old, and there's different needs that I need, which is, I want to be a mom, I want to be a career woman, I want to, be independent, I want to have a house, I want to do investment, I want to be there for my brothers when they have kids, and all of these like new needs that I have. Exactly, I think it's new needs, right? Like it's different needs that
Yeah.
you have. So how are you navigating right now your different needs for Phoebe tomorrow, and your different needs for Phoebe in 5 years, and your different needs for Phoebe in 10 years? Do you have kind of like a vision or a plan, or are you able to really say like those needs and differentiate them?
Um, I think the needs that I have, like you said before, the needs that we have now are very, very different to what we were 10 years ago. So sometimes I think, okay, is there not much point me thinking about my needs in 10 years, but my needs to get me to where I want to be as Phoebe Higgins, you know what I mean? I like that you said that, to be fair, because sometimes I can very much be the type of person that I like to be in the moment, and I like to obviously look forwards, but don't like to look too far forwards to the point where it's like, okay, I'm going to map out, even though I'm an organizer, and I am, like, to my core, and I love it, but I don't want to look too far ahead for it to be like, okay, let's plan out everything, because I need to leave room for potential things that might not happen or might not go my way or might change my entire life in a different way for the better. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to say like, oh yeah, in 5 years I want to be this. Obviously it's a goal of mine to do, like there's things that I want to do in 5 years or something like that. But I think the way that I used to look at that question when I was like 18 or something like that, it was always related around, I want to make sure I have a mortgage. I want to make sure I have kids by this certain time. It was goal related, but it was always like things that you thought, not saying that you thought you needed, but thought that would make you happy versus it being actual. Do you know what I mean? Like that was very
Yeah.
big in my, this is going to make me sound so old, in my day, but like back when it was like, I don't know why that phrase sounds like so old, but back in my day, but back like in the day, it was like, oh, when I'm 25, I want to have, kids, a mortgage, settle down. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like the white picket fence
Yes.
kind of, vibe. Whereas now the way that I look at the question is like, okay, cool, what can I achieve as a person in the next 5 years versus what I have? Which I like. Do you know what I mean?
That's
I
a
like
good
the
point. That's a good
difference.
point.
So for me, that question
Yes.
sometimes is
Wait,
hard.
repeat that. Repeat that. That was
I
so
can't
good.
remember. I can't
Repeat
remember
that.
what I said.
No, you
It's
said
more about
it's
what I need versus what I have. Is that it? Was that it?
yes, what you need, yes, instead of what you have. I don't think that's what it was, but something along those lines that just
My
made so much
brain, it just
sense.
exited my brain completely.
Yeah,
What I can achieve versus what I have, or something like that. But
right, right. What you want to achieve instead of what you have.
yeah,
And
do you know what I
what you
mean?
need, what you need in order to achieve what you want, and instead of having what you have, something along
Yeah,
those lines. But
like
that was
materialistic
key.
things, So like I remember one of my friends used to say to me, she was like, "Oh, when I'm like, 21, I want this type of car," which I think is a goal. Like people are completely it's completely okay for people to want to have a goal, like of having a car, but at the same time, I do feel like it can be very like not goal driven at all, or not what you want. It's just what you think you want.
It's yeah.
Do you know
Yes,
what I
and
mean?
it's also yes, and it's also not sustainable. What what you said about who you need to be in order to achieve, that is what builds character in order to have like a long lasting life of just accomplishing things that you really do want, which if you want a car is just maybe to accomplish it's like a gift that you give to yourself at a certain milestone of your life.
So sorry, guys. We had a little random, like my laptop just had a weird moment, so we had to start and stop again mid during that very deep conversation that Lauralie was giving us, which was great. So carry on, please, because I want to hear the rest of what you had to say.
You just gave me the like opening because what you said was so key, and
Yeah.
I wanted to relate that to you about your trip that you're gonna have to Ghana, because I want to know like what need is it feeling right now to
Yeah.
go to Ghana for 2 weeks? Like when you actually booked it, when you initially thought about it, when you actually booked it, and now like how do you feel about it? Like how is that different?
I mean, the trip to Ghana is a very well. I mean, do I share or not? Well, I mean, my dad's getting remarried, right? So my dad's getting remarried at 69 to a great woman that he met
Stop.
in, yeah, which a great woman that he met in Ghana. So the trip is for that. So my
Oh
need for
shit.
that, yeah, I haven't really, I don't know why I haven't said anything because I was like, well, it's like, it's a very like, it is a big thing. It's obviously a very big thing for
Yeah,
obviously his
babe.
age
Thank
and
you for
obviously
sharing
his,
that with us.
but I didn't know if I wanted to share it because I was like, oh, is it too personal or not? But obviously, we share a lot of things, so it's kind of like, why not? But yeah, so he's getting remarried, and I think for me, the initial trip was obviously, to go there for him, and that's obviously that's the main need for this trip in terms of like, I want to be present there with him. So when I was obviously prepping for the Arnolds and the potential show that I was going to do the week before, I was like, I'm not doing any shows in between this time or preparing myself in between this time because my sole purpose for this trip is to enjoy and be present like in this experience because it's something that won't ever happen in my lifetime again, being able to watch my dad get one remarried to the woman that he loves, and two,
Yeah.
like be able to be, well, I can obviously go back to Ghana, but to be able to go to this country again with my sister and my dad, my sister and my dad, I haven't done that since I was like 5. So it's like I wanted to be fully the whole need for this entire trip was to be completely openly just present, completely present. So I mean, I know now that that trip also is gonna help me allow to just obviously be there for him and be present, but then also, like I said to before, to you guys before, that I want to try and like almost use this as a little detox where I'm not focusing on things that I'm so hyper focused on all the time, like work, social media, other things which are great aspects to my life, but also there's something that also do get quite stressful and a lot to feel sometimes. So I just want to be in the moment for a little bit, which I'm allowed to do, but it's hard for me to do that sometimes because I feel like I always have to be like scheduled or doing this or doing that. So, but I don't know where that conversation that I was going with that, but yeah, the need for the trip for me is making sure I'm present in the moment with family that I also haven't seen for like over 12 years.
That's so incredible. Well, babe, thank
So
you so much for sharing that with us. Like, I just, I just thought about this trip because obviously we're talking about, decisions and kind of like what we want in the future and like how we can fulfill those needs with daily decisions that we're having right now. But I was just let us like relate to something that is earlier a little bit
yeah,
and how that, is connected to who you want to be and who what you want to fulfill at this right moment in your life. And even though you made the decision to go on a trip, which at the time like was fulfilling certain needs and made it logical for you to actually go to like support your dad for like his
Yeah.
new love, and that was probably the only thing. But it's crazy how life, like continuing and pursuing your career of like going back to like, you know, the Arnold or doing the Arnold UK, and now with the big decision that you made recently and all the chaos that happened recently, holy shit, that trip's like makes even more sense and there's
It's
even more
weird,
meaning
right?
to it, which is crazy how life works sometimes. And sometimes what could have been just like a miscellaneous trip, which is not miscellaneous, like don't get me
No.
wrong, but it would be just like for one purpose only. Like now it serves like so many more purpose. So I'm so happy that, you know, you're still going with that. And like it's so crazy how things come into our life and like when we really commit to it, like how it can serve us at the right moment in so much more meaning and so much more depth that we don't even could fathom like in our past self, but now in the present it makes more sense. And who knows, like right before, you know, when are you leaving? Like in a couple days?
The third time. My God. Now I've swapped as well.
This
Like three
babe,
different angles.
I swear this is karma from like not recording on freaking Sunday. Like that's the universe telling us
It
straight
actually
karma,
is.
bro.
It actually is. That's so funny. It really is. I mean, sometimes things happen. We couldn't record yesterday or couldn't record in the week. So it just, life happens. Okay. So universe,
we're,
please
we're
stop
the,
giving us shit.
we're the epitome of life happens, okay?
I know.
We're the
We're,
epitome.
no, we're the epitome of it is what it is. It is what it is. But okay, so where do we leave off? So yeah, you were talking about Ghana. Yeah, I mean this trip in general is like I think this trip is going to be a lot needed more than I think it is, if that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
like I think I'm gonna come back from this trip and a lot of probably things that would have happened out there or a lot of the things that I would have done, I think are going to be really, really like changing my perspective on a lot of things, but I don't know how yet. Do you ever get those feelings where you're like, I know this trip is going to be a lot more meaningful than I think, but I don't know how yet
Yes.
until it's done. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's going to make things maybe a little bit clearer for you. You know, sometimes
yeah,
like having a vision is good, but having your path being very clear and kind of having some of, you know, answers that you might not even have the questions for
yeah,
in your head. Does that make sense? Sometimes you don't even have the questions, but then you're like, oh shit, I have an answer for this. I have an answer for that. And that comes to you during trips or, you know, interaction with other people or, you know, doing a show or saying no or doing something that's scary or something that's uncomfortable or something that is comfortable. But then, you know, so you never know what's in it for it until you actually do it. So I'm so glad that, my God, I can't believe you're leaving next Tuesday. That's gonna be,
I know.
it's so cool. So when is the actual wedding? Is it on the weekend?
Yeah, so it's that same weekend. So I think it's the 13th, 14th. I look over there because my calendar's over, my dad's calendar's over there. So yeah, I think it's the 13th, 14th. And then my actual birthday is on the 15th of April.
Oh shit, I can't believe it's already been a year.
I know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'll be 29. That's wild.
Little
So
baby.
wild.
Wait, how do you
It's
feel
so
being
wild.
29?
I mean, it's weird because I don't know if you're like the type of person either, but I don't really celebrate birthdays. Like, I like to celebrate my birthday, like going out. I say going out. I don't want to go out and do something specifically, but I like to just spend time with the people that I love or like be around the people that I want to be around, if that makes sense. So I could literally have something at home and just invite everyone round, and I'd be happy with that. Um, but I've never been one for like wanting anything big or doing anything out there like too much. I like to just have fun and celebrate and just I don't know. It's weird because I haven't really thought about it for ages. And then yesterday, someone asked me how old I was, and I was like, oh, it's my birthday in 2 weeks. They were like, oh, that's soon, and I was like, they were like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm going to be in Ghana, but obviously I'm not doing anything specific for it. But I never celebrate. I don't mind not celebrating birthdays. Does that make sense? Like my own birthday.
Yeah, but I think you should. I think you should.
I
But
know.
I totally get you. I totally get you, but I think you should.
I know
Um, but
100%.
but you'll be over there. You'll be with your family. It's going to be a different dynamic.
Yeah.
It's going to be new. So, I mean, it could be like completely, like, I would love for you to actually make it a thing where you could even start like a new tradition for yourself, maybe this year, like
Yeah.
since you're going to be in Ghana, like something that's really meaningful. And whether it's like, okay, like a sunset or like a sunrise, like with I don't know, like a little meditation shit, like, or like a
Yeah.
breakfast situation where like, you make it a thing with like, okay, for your birthday you actually want to do exactly that and make it a tradition,
Yeah.
special, like very special for your birthday, and doesn't have to be surrounded about food or just like something meaningful. It could be like just
Yeah.
a phone call or just spending time with your family, but just without your phone, like making like a just find something, like find something.
Mm.
I'll help you find something too for your birthday, because I think that could be the best gift that you could give to yourself, you know.
Oh, love you. Yeah.
you're you're
I
you're
mean, it's
worth being
weird.
celebrated, for sure.
My girl, I think it's weird though, because I think the older we get, I think the less we do celebrate. Because I was speaking about this with my friend the other day, because she's obviously, when I get back from Ghana, I'm in the UK for about, I want to say like 2, 3 days. And I'm coming back and I'm seeing her for her birthday. And she was like, "Oh, I don't really like celebrating like my birthday. I'm not a fan of it." And I think the older we get, we just tend to not want to celebrate things. And I don't know if it's because it's an age thing, because we don't want to celebrate that we're getting older. But I do want to start celebrating like the milestones we've hit within life versus it being like, oh, I'm getting older. Like the perspective of a birthday can be looked at as, oh, I'm getting older. Like, oh, I don't want to celebrate. I don't want to think about it. But also, yeah, I do want to think about it because I've achieved so much in the last year. That's something to be celebrated, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
that was a weird epiphany I just had in my head. And I was like, oh, wow, actually, yeah, that's very, very true. Because like, yeah, it's so easy to just be like, oh, I don't want to, think about age, or I don't want to, get older, or I don't want to think about this certain thing. Like I got a question the other day about, I think on one of my Instagram posts, and someone said like, I'm thinking about like not competing anymore because of my age. Like, and I think and I said to her, I was like, you shouldn't be scared of age, because if it's something that you love to do and you're enjoying it, then why stop?
yeah.
Um, so that was a very random tangent, but um, yeah, I mean, that kind of goes into the rest of our topic and stuff like that about where we see ourselves in, 5 to 10 years. I think sometimes as well the reason people don't want to look that far ahead is because they are getting older and they're like, oh, I'm a bit worried about what I can, what life is going to look like in 10 years. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but girl, I don't fear that at all. I guess, I guess we all have fears, right? We all have fears, and
Yeah,
it's things that we apprehend for different reasons. I've never been one to like fear the future at all. I've always been kind of excited about the future. Don't get me wrong, I get worried sometimes. I do worry a lot, and I feel when
yeah,
I worry in the present about something, that I am doing or not doing. I start worrying on how the impact could have on my how the impact of now could have on my future, but I could never
mm,
look at the future and be scared because I get so excited,
yeah,
but I understand that, when you reach a certain age, like when I think about, okay, I'm going to be 29, there's other factors, there's new factors on me that are like pressuring me in different aspects. Like you don't have the
yeah,
same freedom as like I can really fuck effed up how many times I want right now, and there would be very minimal to like a little impact into my future. That's why when you're a kid, you don't give a fuck, because you can
yeah,
do as many mistakes as you want, and it's repairable. It's everything is repairable until a certain age where like you take responsibilities and like your acts are not as repairable. Example, you get a driver's license. well, now you're responsible for your act, because if you're drunk driving and you don't make good decisions and you don't make the right decisions, it could have an impact for the rest of your life, or have an impact on somebody else if like you end up hitting someone. Sorry, it's getting really dark, but you understand
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say. Is like we don't,
Yeah.
like a certain age, there's impact that are going to tarnish or make it or break it for the rest of your life. So you have to be more thought through and have more vision or have a plan. So if you've been in your life for a certain point where you didn't have a plan or a vision, like at some point life is going to like tell you like, hey, start putting pen on paper, because shits are about to get real for you if you're not. And I think
Yeah.
I started to feel that last 2 years, but even more so, like I know it's going to hit me hard on 29 if I don't start getting my shit together. But they're pretty together now, and I'm pretty excited about the future, I want to say.
You
And
should
it's,
be.
yeah, and I think, for you and I, as much as I know how you love being organized, I think you're in a place now where you're kind of stepping back from that overly organized, where it doesn't leave you that freedom, but being more open about things coming and leaving you, and being okay with that coming and leaving, and not being attached to everything, and attached to like, okay, this is what's going to make me that person in 5 years. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm making me right now who's going to be in 5 years. And if I
Yeah.
messed up, it's not going to affect the 5 years that I have from now, because I've calculated those mess up. Like I give myself a certain leverage of like, I can mess up that amount of time and being okay in 5 years still, because you
Yeah.
know who you are at your core. And when you know that, girl, you can carry that for the rest of your life, like through thick and thin and storms and all the shit. And that's why you're rock solid, and that's why you're confident into the future, and you don't really fear it or like being scared about it, you know?
Aw. Love you.
Yeah, you don't have to be scared about anything. I'm so confident for
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Oh, my girl. My girl. I mean, I haven't actually asked you the question. Like, what do you see where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Uh, I feel like I haven't really gotten an answer from you either, but I don't know what people are expecting me to answer. Like in 5 years, I'm going to be, I suck in math, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32 years old. I want to, I think, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have at least one kid. If I'm not pregnant, that's twins, because twins runs in my
Mm.
family, but at least a kid. I would love, love, love to have a house with a backyard, and probably, obviously Aldo and I, we have our gym, like owning actual commercial building. Like that would be what
Mm.
I foresee in the future. I hope that my parents are going to have a place to stay here in Florida, and they're going to be back and forth for 6 months. I know that my brothers are probably going to have one or two kids already.
Mm.
Like, so that's the dynamic that's going to be around, like more like,
That's
so
crazy.
yeah. And
I
who
love that
knows,
though.
like I was talking with a photographer, like one of the photographers that was there, and he was like, are you going to promote a show? And I was like super not opposed to it, but I was like, it's not in my plans, like, but I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, if I actually am able to go back and forth to Canada, like I would love to have my own show, like in Montreal, like where I'm from, because that was like a base of bodybuilding. Like Joe Weider, like all the family, like they had
Mm.
Mr. Universe in Montreal, like before. So I was like, wait, they don't have a show right now. Like it could actually work. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen within the bodybuilding? But I know right now for the vision, like I'm probably going to be a mom, and probably like a very young kid. So I'm probably not going to be actively competing like in 5 years. I don't think so.
That was my
Um,
next question. I was going to say, like, if you didn't mention it, I was going to say the next question was, like, do you see yourself competing in 5 years?
Not right now, no. If
Yeah.
everything goes, if everything goes exactly how I envision things to go right now, which there's a lot of things that are very clear for me right now. I don't think I'm going to be on stage in like in the Olympia at 32 years old, 5 years from now. No, I
Mm.
don't think so. I don't think so, because I'm going to have accomplished a lot of things that I want to, and because of, there's ultimatum that I put in my life right now, as far as like that side of my life, for sure.
That's good. And I love that you've done that for yourself as well, to say like, okay, there's certain things that I've said to myself. Okay, if I haven't done, or I need to start thinking about other things as well. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like we've always said before, you're not just Lauralie the IFBB pro or Lauralie the competing athlete, bikini athlete. You've got other pillars in your life that you want to also achieve. You can't obviously keep compete. Well, you can keep competing if you wanted to, but it also doesn't mean you have to then not think about the other things that you also want to achieve. I think that's amazing that you've said that, because I think it's very easy for us to just, compete, compete, compete and forget everything else sometimes.
Oh, girl.
Um,
Heck yeah. What
yeah.
about
So
you? What about you in 5 years, Phoebe?
I
What
don't,
does it
I don't
look
think
like?
I'll be competing too. I don't think I'll be competing either. I mean, for me in my
Really?
brain, obviously I've got the rest of the year off. The rest of this year off, go back into potentially 2025 if I feel ready to come back and compete. I might even take off 2025 as well. I don't know. Like it's weird. Like it's so like unclear right now for me. I'm
Yeah.
like, but that's also okay. I'm actually really okay with it being unclear. It's not a retirement, because also I did put up a video yesterday, a YouTube video, and people are like, "Oh my God, is she retiring?" And I'm like, "No, like I'm not done.
Right.
Like I'm not done. I'm not done competing, but I just need a break. But when that break will end, I don't know." So, yeah, I mean, for me, I want to focus on business. Like for me, it's always been about business and, trying to bring up the career as much as I can, within those 5 years, obviously. And then for me and Max, like travel the world together. Like that's my like plan and vision for each other, is like for us to do everything we do, which is pretty much kind of becoming a reality now together.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which is cool, and be able to
Yeah.
experience all these amazing things together, and him, capture the journey of it. We can tell our story together, and like I don't know, I feel like it's weird because yes, I do want kids, and me and Max actually spoke about it like a few months ago. Yes, we do want kids, but we don't even know when that will be. It's so weird. Like I'm not ready for kids anytime soon. I can't see it
Right.
in the next like, I can't see it in 3 years or 5 years even really. Even
Yeah.
though 5 years is still me at 34. My mum had me at 36, which is, I don't know if anyone classes that as older, but that is quite an older time to have a child. 36, isn't it?
But still, babe, it's still, my God,
No,
it's nothing crazy. Like,
no, no. That's what I mean. But um, the reason she had me at 36 was because she was out there traveling and creating a career for herself. She was going traveling in Europe and doing things with my dad and all that sort of thing. So it's like I want to make sure that I feel fully fulfilled in kind of like that era of my life before I can
yeah.
then bring in a child to that world, to my
Mm-hmm.
world, that I want it for it. You know what I mean? Like it's not a case of
Right.
like, oh yeah, I just want to I want kids, but I want to make sure that my life is also not complete, but like I feel like my life is, I don't know what the word is. My life is kind of like enough to be able to bring him or she into it. You know?
Right. Yes. Yes.
Um,
Like accomplished, or like, you want to say
yeah,
accomplished, maybe?
it's not accomplished, but it's like, because I
Not
don't want to. It's not
fulfilled,
like I want.
not content, fulfilled content.
It's not like I want to tick off loads of boxes career wise and do this until I have kids, but I want to make sure that the world that I am in right now, the world that I can create for myself, okay, then I can bring a baby and be like, I'm happy
Oh,
to,
yeah, it's suitable for, you want to create something
yes,
suitable for your kid.
yes,
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
which I know that isn't always the case, because obviously people can't control obviously when they have kids and all that sort of thing sometimes. So I get that, but yeah, I don't know. My need for wanting kids right now at 28, maybe in the next couple of years, isn't what I want at the moment. But I
Mm-hmm.
do want kids, 100%. Like I want a
Yeah.
little mini me running around
Stop. I would
one
die. I
day.
would die.
Me
I
and Max
would
always
die.
say, me and Max always say, what we want is, it's so funny. We want my features, so we have like the darker complexion, the curly hair. He
Yeah,
has really blue eyes. So I was like, we need all of me and then him just have the blue eyes. Like the baby will just get the blue eyes and curly hair and the dark
stop.
complexion and stuff like that. And I was like, I would love
And
that. But
and
yeah.
being supermodels and being hot.
Oh,
And
and being
it would be
hot
so cute.
and
It
being
would be
so
so
cute.
cute. So cute.
So, but yeah, I really like this discussion to be fair because I think it's weird. I love looking into the future, but I sometimes don't looking too, like I said before, looking too far because it gets very intense and pressure filled, like you said. But it also is very exciting part of life to look forward to what you want to achieve and what you want, um, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
So
think there's a right in between where like you can think of the future enough to like make you even more present in your life right now, but you need to like
yeah,
find that right balance for you. And I think it's not the same for everybody, but you need to find, work on yourself to like find that right balance in order to be not make you like procrastinate, but not make you too
no,
proactive either. Like just right in the right little in between of like present moment. But yeah, I love everything that you said so much, and it's so crazy because I was, now everything is a little bit unclear. You have things that are very clear in your life, which it's different aspect or different, how can you say like different dimensions of your life or different areas of your life that are kind of clearer
yeah,
than the others. And maybe bodybuilding was very clear for you for a while, and now is the one that's a little bit unclear. And that is life, that is experience of
yeah,
life, and it's a roller coaster, and it's a great, great ride, and you learn a lot of things. And as much as I've been so unclear for the most part of my life, um, bodybuilding was always clear for me in just the area of okay, I'm going to compete this year. That's the only thing I knew that was clear for me, and
yeah,
that was the only thing. The rest was so unclear to me. I always kind of like really didn't know about, oh, I don't want to have kids because the society we live in, I think is just so crazy to bring a child inside. I'm like, that was so immature of me. So I've obviously mature with my thoughts. But then, I know right now I can't travel. So I know there's a side of me that really wants to travel and get that out of my system. And I know, knowing me, I'm going to do it so heavily when it comes down. I'm probably going to be freaking everywhere because I really want to stick to the vision of like the timeline that I have for myself and make it make
yeah,
sense. Which, if I was able to travel right now, I would probably do it like very sporadically and very like being here, being there, because I do love to travel. It is something that I really want to accomplish in my life. And probably at a certain point before I do have a family on my own. So I want to see different part of the world, different culture. I mean, we've talked about Bali
yeah.
so many times. I want to go to Bali
Oh,
and,
I want to go to
you
Bali
know,
so bad.
yeah. So all of these things, things might change when I have that, but it's not going to change a lot because it's been so clear for a while. And I think, having not the ability to travel has given me okay, Lauralie, like the universe is like sit the F down, like sit down and actually think and get yourself clear. So when you're able to travel, you're not all over the place because I can be very good at being
Yeah,
all over the place and a little bit at everywhere. But the reason why I'm so good at bodybuilding is because I was so clear about it for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And I've allowed myself to be clear about that for a long time. Now I'm obviously very clear about my relationship. I'm very clear. Once I'm clear on those things, Phoebe's like, I can dive into it so much more, and I feel so much more accomplished, and I feel so much more confident about myself. So I'm like, okay, you actually need clarity in your life. Like you can't
yeah,
just be. It's very Aquarius. Like I don't know if you believe in. Like I just feel like it's such an Aquarius trait, like astrology. Like it's such an Aquarius trait, and I know like if you're an Aquarius, like please drop it down below because you're what April is not
I'm an
Pisces.
Aries.
You're Aries. Okay. So
Yeah.
I don't even know a lot of Aries. Actually, no, I do know a lot of Aries. No, I don't. I don't. But anyway, it's probably like a very organized, freaking. So super like Aquarius, very go with the flow, very independent. That's kind of like in our trait. But
Yeah,
girl, like going with the flow is good for certain things, but you need to like I need to tame it, you know? I don't know if taming is the right word, but you need to tame that shit and like being clear about it at some point. You do. If you want
Yeah.
to achieve things, you do.
It's very
So,
true, and it's hard. It's hard sometimes to do the both of those things together. But I think, like you said before, having that balance is going to be what needs to happen moving forward for growth and stuff like that, and to get to where you want to be, and what your needs need. You know. Um.
yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes
So
I feel that before taking a step forward, for me, at least, everything needs to be perfect. But it's like, how can you be everything perfect if you don't give yourself everything into one thing? You can't give
yeah,
everything of yourself into everything. You need to give yourself everything into one thing for a certain, amount of time. So I think that's the skill, and I think it takes maturity and wisdom, and obviously time and age and universe and all these things comes together, and it's like, okay, now it's time to do those things. And I mean, definitely the universe is sending you a message, and you're not trying to fight it, and you're not trying to resist it, and you have your vision, but you're allowing yourself, okay, like this part of my life is a little bit unclear right now, and we're gonna do it, we're gonna use it and make the most out of it. But I can't wait for you to be back and share with obviously me, but also like our audience, what answer you got, or if maybe you don't even have answers, but it might be like in a year from now, you're like, shit, that trip actually like did me so well and did me so
yeah,
good. But at least for now, you're going to be able to support your dad that you love, and being with your family for his wedding. And I mean, that gives me butterflies right now, because I can only imagine, I know your dad just a little bit, but from what I've seen of his heart and what I know of you, I'm like, wow, it's going to be so beautiful to see just love, like, and kind of like him reborn into like allowing himself to like reborn through like this love. I think it's just,
yeah,
I wish him all the best. And I know I can probably speak for everybody that knows you and that loves you, Phoebe, like how we wish him well. And your
yeah.
dad is such a man of great heart and pure soul. Like, it's so exciting, it's so exciting.
I know, I'm really excited for him as well. Like, it's a new chapter of his life that he's entering at a slightly older age, but like, it's also very exciting for him. Do you know what I mean? Like we said before, age is just a number, and I think it's very, yeah, it's going to be very exciting for him. So I can't wait for it. I'm very, very
Oh,
excited.
that's
So,
so good.
oh, it's so nice talking about it as well, to be fair, because I haven't really spoken about it much,
You
but it's nice
haven't.
to actually
No,
speak
not
about it.
much.
No,
Not at all. At all. You haven't
yeah,
opened
no,
up
I
to me
haven't
at
spoken
all.
about it
But
at all. So I
good
just,
stuff.
yeah, I'm going to Ghana. Yeah, I'm going to Ghana. And then I'm like, oh yeah, the actual reason behind it was this. So, but, oh, that was a great episode. I liked
That
that a
was
lot. I
great.
also want to say to a lot of people, sorry about my voice, because I was actually sick. Like I was sick all this week in terms of like, I was ill, and my throat has just gotten worse and worse and worse, which is always the worst part. So that is
It's okay,
why
babe.
I sound like this. But,
It's
um,
okay.
thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like, subscribe, all those fun things. Make sure you sign up to our Patreon if you want to hear more from Say More. Um, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it for today's episode.
Guys, this is our 46th episode. We're going to get close to 52 episode, which means a whole year of Say More podcast. And Phoebe and I were like in all, like with all of our heart, like honestly and genuinely are so thankful and so kind of crazed out about how blessed we are and how grateful we are for all of you that tune in every single week and that comes to us and like say thank you for what we do. We're having so much fun throughout this journey, and you've guys support just means the world to us. So just want to say a huge thank you. I mean, episode 46, like who would have known that one phone call lead to this
I
today?
know.
And it's going to be a big celebration for episode 52, that's for sure. And until
Yeah.
then, you guys, please, continue to subscribe, continue to comment, continue to give us like the great support that you give us every single week by answering our question, listening to us, like bearing with us in our technical issues that we have. But
Yeah.
we always look forward to doing those episodes with you and taking our time throughout the day to share with all of you. So keep loving, keep inspiring us, and keep supporting. We really do appreciate every single things that you do. It doesn't go unnoticed. So bye, Phoebes. I
Yeah.
love you. I'm ready to eat, and
I
you're
know.
ready for
I'm
bed.
ready to go to bed. Guess the time. It's 12:15 right now.
But you need a schedule. You need to work on your
I
sleep
know.
schedule. This is not
I
this
know.
is not great.
No, it's not. But in honor of this episode, please, guys. Obviously, we spoke about our what we want to do in 5 years. Comment down below in the comment section if you're watching on YouTube. What do you see yourself in where do you see yourself in 5 years? If you feel comfortable to share that, what are you doing with your journey at the moment, and where would you see yourself in 5 years? We want to know. We want to
Yes.
comment. We want to see everyone's journeys. So we love you guys so much, and we'll see you very soon.